So we have just concluded the week 2 of 3 live stream for Into the Light. These live streams have been great. I've been loving the dev insights, and I have a lot of good things to say here. This is going to be a reaction video telling you that what I like, what I don't like, but I'll be honest, there's not much of anything I do not like. One thing to keep in mind is that we will not be talking about weapons here. I'm going to wait till tomorrow. They announced that there's going to be a blog post covering all the weapons and stuff like that. But altogether, this was a lot more than I thought we were going to get when it comes to just like explaining what this means for the Into the Light updates. And honestly, it was a lot more substantial than the week 1 when they showcased Onslaught. That's just because I feel like it went longer than it should. This one felt just right. A lot of details, a lot of stuff. And even with the weapons, yeah, this is crazy. This is fun. It's a free content update, which I think is incredible. And a lot of people are putting into weight that this needs to be like Taken King level of update. Guys, it's free. They're honestly doing a lot of the things that I wanted them to do and expected them to do and was hoping for them to do. And with that being said, let's jump into it and get into all that good stuff. So the main social space of this will be Hall of Champions here on screen. You see this image. It's pretty grand. Leading into this, it wasn't so much. I was actually being like, ooh, this place looks pretty damn bad. What are we doing? And then we saw this room and I was like, oh, this is incredible. Now, the simple way of putting this is that the Hall of Champions will operate pretty much identical to Xur's treasure hoard from the 30th anniversary. I think this is a good template to use. It's very straightforward. It's kind of in its own little realm, own little niche. You can come back, you could do it, you can leave. Doesn't really have too much interconnecting with the overall game. And again, this is free, so all players can visit this. When you're here, you can get bounties from Shax, the main vendor, or you can get bounties from our site, a bot that has been named and highlighted in the lore tabs and stuff like that. And finally, we get to see it in action here. This will be kind of the weapons vendor of the Hall of Champions. We have a chest similar to the chest next to Xur in Xur's treasure hoard. This is where you get these rewards, these weapons, and all that good stuff. Next to that will be kind of a catch-up chest for all these players. Another thing that I really like, this chest will bring you up to the powerful cap, which is 1800. But yeah, this is awesome. So far, so good. Now, just like Xur's treasure hoard, there's cosmetic chests for your armor set. That is returning. There's going to be 3 sets of that. One for Titan, one for Warlock, one for Hunters. They'll be in the middle of the room, and these are tied to your vendor rank with Shax, which I think is great. You'll get these keys, you spend, all that good stuff. One thing that I like a lot, and I'll probably get into some detail about it, is our site having these weapons quest. One of my main complaints of Destiny's gameplay loop right now is the desire to grind, the desire to go out and get loot. And when things are grindy, I feel like the system has never been perfect for that RNG. It's much better than Destiny 1, for example, but I still think there should be some improvements here. And right off the bat, this quest system is a massive improvement. So in order to obtain a weapon, these are called brave weapons in all capitals. These weapons are basically the greatest hits from Destiny's history. We're talking about Midnight Coup's hand cannon, Luna's Howl. We got Forbearance in there, a raid weapon. We have Succession, a raid weapon. We have Hammerhead, a black armory, light machine gun. We have Blast Furnace, another black armory, pulse rifle. All these great hits from the past, including Recluse, for example, and Mountaintop. A lot of great stuff here. But in order to get these weapons to drop, you're going to need to complete a quest you get from our site. Now, once you complete this quest, you're going to get a curated roll of this weapon, and there's going to be 2 versions of these weapons. These are cosmetic changes, not really something of when it comes to performance and stat base. These are just cosmetic changes. We'll get a little bit more into that soon. But yeah, once you complete this quest, then you can start getting that weapon to drop in your rewards. And what's really cool about here is like the hypothetical of like, hey, maybe I just want the Recluse and the Blast Furnace and Midnight Coupe. I want those 3 weapons, and I don't want to complete the other quests because once I start doing that, I'm going to be kind of damaging my chances to get the God roll, for example. So I don't have to complete Falling Guillotine stuff or the Edge thing, the Edge Grenade Launcher. I forget what it's called. It's a mean weapon, but I love that they called the quest Edgelord. That's hilarious. But yeah, like, give a little bit more flowers to the player. And on top of that, in order to increase our drop rates for our weapon of choice, for example, let's say we want more Recluse drops, we can attune this with these Shax statues, and you can only mess with these once you have that weapon unlocked. So once you do that, you can get increased drop rates for your weapon you're trying to farm. I think this is great. This is something we should get more of, and it's a great way to incorporate a healthy RNG system. as of now, from what it seems on paper, again, we don't know how this operates in game. Right now, it seems like it's a healthy ecosystem for RNG drops and stuff like that, and something that should have been in the game for a while now. I like that. It gets me excited for the gameplay loop of Into the Light, and I hope they translate this into further updates, because I don't want crafting weapons, or at least red borders, to be the main goal of every season update or every episode update. Crafting weapons, annotation here on screen. I made a video on it. It's controversial, but I feel like that this is an unsung concern, and I feel like Bungie has slightly taken steps for addressing this. But again, at the same time, one of my main things in that video is that I need Bungie to come out and say it's an issue, and that's not really what they're doing here. So who knows? Let's see how things play out. But before we conclude, two things. Weapon variations. So there's going to be here on screen this pinnacle version of this weapon, and these are exclusive drops when it comes to cosmetics, when it comes to until the final shape releases. Now, once the final shape releases, these will kind of be tossed aside, not going to drop anymore, and the reason for that is they want to have like a, hey, I participated during Destiny's time at this point. It's only cosmetic. So let's say you get the recluse to drop and it looks like this. Well, it didn't drop with that skin. Now, at some point, I believe they have a version of it. I'll probably put on here on screen. And this is the pinnacle version of the recluse. And as you guys can tell, it looks a little bit different, which I think is cool. Again, it's like a ornament set. It's like a shader set that is exclusive to that version that dropped. So let's say you have two different recluses. You can't just take that shader from one recluse and put it on your god roll. It's going to have to drop with the god roll. It adds a different layer of grinding. Some players may love that. I do. Some players may hate that. Who knows? Leave your thoughts down below. And then on top of that, we're getting the return of a all black shader. Now this, I forget the name of it, was from D1. I know I saw chat going crazy for it. I don't know. I'm not all in on an all black shader, but hey, it gives a lot more people flexibilities to do what they want when it comes to fashion. And I think all power to you. It's a great little change. But overall, yeah, this was a great update. This was some great stuff. And it really solidified my excitement for the Into the Light update. This comes out, I believe, April 9th. So we are right around the corner. And it should be an intriguing time. But if you guys found this video informative in any way, drop this video a like. Helps with the video a ton. Now, for more content like this, again, there'll be content when Into the Light drops. A lot of good stuff on the way. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell to be notified when I do drop that content. But altogether, really happy with what we saw with this live stream. Definitely better than week one. Not saying I didn't like Onslaught at all. I thought it looked incredible, but when it came to the juice, I feel like we got a lot more of that here, which was nice to see. But altogether, leave your thoughts down below. But besides that, I hope you guys have a good one. That's all I gotta say on this one. ShadowNinja here, and I'm out.